Hello there, I'm Lady Loy, DJ, writer, poet, and vlogger, I guess, and I wanted to talk about the architecture of denial, which is racism. Hopefully I can do it within 10 minutes. Listen, before we talk about racism as a structure, as a system, as a shadow that stretches across centuries, we have to talk about the mind. Because racism doesn't just live in laws or borders or institutions. Racism lives in people, in the quiet corners of comfort, in the stories we inherit, in the feelings we defend, even though we don't know why. This isn't just about prejudice, it's about the psychology that protects the prejudice, polishes it, hides it behind politeness, and feeds it just enough oxygen to keep the fire warm. So tonight we're not calling anyone out, we're calling something up, something deep, something human, fragile, and older than all of us. Every society has a bedtime story, a tale that says we're the good ones, we're the civilized ones, we're the normal ones. People grow up wrapped in that story like a blanket, and who lets go of a blanket willingly? So when history says, no, the comfort was built on somebody else's discomfort, the blanket gets tighter, pulled closer, clutched at corners. Because admitting the story is wrong means admitting the world isn't what you were taught, and that feels like losing a piece of yourself. So the psychology whispers, protect the story, protect the comfort, protect the myth. And racism survives another day. Say the word racist and people hear monster, villain, evil, so the walls go up, fast, thick, impenetrable. People shout, I'm not a racist, I didn't mean it, don't accuse me. But in the noise of defending their identity, they cannot see their impact. And racism sits there quietly in the middle, untouched. Because all the energy is spent protecting the ego instead of examining the behavior. This is psychology, not morality, a reflex, a shield, a survival instinct of the self-image. And unless we understand that instinct, conversations become minefields and truth has nowhere to land. Intent is a warm blanket too. I didn't mean harm, just like Nigel Farage said. So no harm happened. But imagine stepping on someone's foot and telling them their pain doesn't count because your heart was pure. That's what racism often is, a hurt denied because the hurter feels innocent. Intent becomes a sanctuary and everyone hides inside it instead of facing the bruises they caused. And racism just keeps breathing. Now this part is delicate because many won't say it out loud, but the silence speaks for them. What happens to me if something becomes equal, if I'm no longer the default, if the world no longer leans in my direction? It's not hatred that protects racism here, it's fear. Fear of losing status or comfort, or the predictable script of who is centered and who is on the margins. Equality feels like a loss to those who were once prioritized. So the psychology screams, hold the line, don't give an inch, protect what you have. And racism survives, dressed as self-preservation. Human beings, we're pack animals. We are pack animals. We want to belong, we want to blend in, we want to be claimed by a group that feels like home. So if your family, your community, your workplace, your pub, your grandmother's living room all echo the same stereotypes, speaking up feels like betrayal. People ask themselves, am I willing to lose my place here for a truth that makes everyone feel uncomfortable? Most say no, not because they're cruel, but because belonging is oxygen and challenging the group feels like drowning. And racism thrives in that silence, thrives in the quiet nod, thrives in the look away, thrives in don't make this a problem. The brain likes simple stories. The group is good, the group is bad, the group is hardworking, the group is lazy, the group belongs, the group doesn't. It's mental fast food, cheap, quick, filling, but no nutrition. To dismantle racism, we need slow thinking, curious thinking, complicated thinking. But the mind prefers shortcuts, and racism is the shortcut that cuts the deepest. Most racism isn't shouted, it's tolerated, it's brushed off, it's laughed away, it's swallowed at dinner tables and ignored in offices. Not because the silent people agree, but because they fear being awkward, being dramatic, being the one who ruins the mood. But listen carefully. Silence doesn't just sit there. Silence chooses a side. Silence is a vote. Silence is a sanctuary for whatever harms us all. And racism grows in that sanctuary like mold in the dark. Societies forget conveniently, collectively, spectacularly. They forget that racism was engineered piece by piece, law by law, lie by lie, profit by profit. They forget that outcomes were designed, not accidental. And when you forget the design, you stop questioning the structure. It starts to look natural. And anything that looks natural stops being challenged. That's amnesia. That deliberate forgetting is the final psychological shield. So, the unveil. Racism isn't just a system, it's an emotional architecture. A house built from fear and memory, and belonging and identity and denial. If we want to dismantle racism, we have to dismantle the foundation beneath the racism. So, like I said, I'm Myrna Loy. If you go on Amazon and look up Myrna Loy, you'll find my books. But my books aren't academic. They're very person-centered, very simple. My name's spelling, Myrnaloy. I'm also a DJ on the Roller Coaster Show on the Gold Standard Radio every Saturday, 7 till 9. And on that show, I don't really talk about what I'm talking about now, but sometimes I can inject it into lyrics that talk the same language. And so sometimes you'll find that I inject my thoughts when I'm playing the music. Not often, but I do that. The genres I play artists from all over the world. So sometimes the songs are not in English. I play all genres of music, but mostly it's reggae, dancehall, soca. Still got my cough. And what else do I play? Yes, reggae from other countries. So I think that's all about me. I hope you found what I shared with you motivating. I hope it was clear. I hope it was said in an acceptable way, in an acceptable tone. And I'm not going to blab on anymore. I just wanted to share these few words with you before I start my training. I'm on training today, so I'm not at work. My training starts at 10 o'clock, so I've got plenty of time. So I'll speak to you soon. Have a wonderful day. The sun is shining even though it's cold, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.